Hello, sorry about that. Oh, I'm very, very picky when it comes to. Um, I'm very, very thorough when it comes to what's it called? When it comes to things being done right. So please pardon me. How could I not think of my bad behavior? Pardon me. When it comes, yes, it's actually good that I saw it because I wouldn't have liked it. Um, yes. Oh, okay. Sorry. Let me. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I do something right. Just give me 1 minute. What am I doing? Sorry. Just give me 1 minute. Uh, Mukuna pardon me. Oh. How did I do it that time? I was able to watch it. I'm trying to figure stuff out. Just give me 1 minute. You know, say no easy. You know easy. You hey. Just pardon me. I dey come. Just give me some minutes. Some minutes. Let me do things the right way. Just bear with me. I like to do things the right way. So let me just bear with me. I shall be with you in the next few seconds. I'm just trying to say to multitask is not easy. To multitask is not an easy thing. So I am learning. When you hear I'm a learner, me self I be learner. Even me self, I know say I be learner. Um okay, so like I was saying, how do you sorry, just give me 1 minute. Oh. Ha. I don't know what I do myself. Oh. And I was actually enjoying it. I wanted to watch myself. That was the whole idea. So just bear with me. Just bear with me. Let me try and get myself together. No. So how do I okay, hold on. Okay. Let me just go ahead and do what I'm doing, to be honest. Otherwise, I'm just going to get myself all together on this. Okay. So basically, Covenant University has been on the radar for so many reasons, and we know why. So on this level, let's talk about Covenant University. There's been rumors and there's been concerns raised about how Covenant University has been unfairly dismissing their employees. And of course, whether we like it or not, Covenant University is what's the name? Belongs to Baba Oyedepo. So if the church belongs to Baba Oyedepo, then he must be answerable to his people. He must be answerable. He cannot escape being answerable. Now, I wouldn't have, to be fair, I wouldn't have even talked about this if not because of the news I saw. Say as I did social media, now so I come begin the shake. Now from shaking, now shake I shake. Where I see waiting the now shake I shake. Now I say wetin dey happen, wetin dey shele. Now from wetin dey happen, wetin dey shele. Now I take see wetin be the name. Now there I take see um one professor where they say the professor by because of they say the professor by because of because Covenant University, well, they were linking his sudden death, in fairness, to concern to they were linking his sudden death to what's his name? They were linking it. Look, this is distracting me. Let me pay attention. So they were linking the sudden death of this man to this of this professor. They were linking the sudden death to the unfair dismissal at Covenant University. And I kept wondering, I was like, okay, if they are linking his unfair dismissal to Covenant University, now let us look at what is the problem in Covenant University. So this professor, this particular professor, he has been in he's worked for Covenant University for almost 12 years, 19 years, close to 20 years that he had worked for Covenant University. And I keep wondering, okay, if he's worked that long, why was he dismissed? What was the reason for dismissal? So let me put the picture of the man. Sorry, just a minute. So I on the street of social media, I saw the waka. Now I can't see. Sorry, I'm a bit disjointed, but just give me some minutes. I'm just trying to sort out something. That's the reason why you see me talking back and forward, back and forward. Okay, I'm fully here now. Yeah, so let me comport myself. Now, like I was saying, tọ́mání kọ́ lọ mú bó ṣe ń rí wá na bó ṣe ń rí na we dey see. You see, when we talk about these churches, when we talk about pastors, it's not attack on their person, but it's to get them to do the right thing. And it's not just about pastors. Of course, I talk about pastors because I was born into a Christian home. Okay? And Christianity is all I've known. I've never known anything outside Christianity. So I can't talk about what I don't know. Rather, because I might not do justice to what I don't know. Now, the fall of the Nigerian education system, or the inability of the Nigerian government to respond to a better education system in Nigeria has led to all sorts of universities and all sorts of education system being put in place. And of course, capitalism has been promoted over quality. So much so that university, which happens across the globe, it's not just unique to Nigeria. University has now become a means to an end for businessmen. Like it's a business, it's a profit-making venture. Unfortunately, that is a reality across the globe. It's not just unique to Nigeria. But unfortunately, because our system, our government, or the bodies in charge of education, which is the Ministry of Education, they do not regulate the education system. Unfortunately, we are going to end up having casualties. Okay, the labor union themselves, if you ask me, I don't know who I go ask, because labor union, I don't know. I know there's labor union in Nigeria, but you and I know that labor union in Nigeria, na politician dey be. We know that the labor union, instead of working in the best interest of their staffs or of their members, what they end up doing is they align with the government. Like in the UK, for instance, we have labor unions. We have Unison. We have what is the other one now? Unite. Hey, My daddy, hello sis, my daddy, my daddy school don't commit. Well, they are alleging my daddy school of misbehavior, and I we won't gbenu see Mike for them. Um, you see, in the UK we have Unite, we have Unison, and I think there are other, but Unite and Unison are like the big ones. And then, of course, in if you're a professional, you have your professional bodies, which ideally, well, in my own profession, you have no choice. You have to be a member of the professional body because that's how we are regulated and that's how we're represented. Because we are not allowed to directly get involved with Unison or Unite because we are an emergency angle of the system. Anyway, but in Nigeria, we know that we have labor union. At least if I don't know anyone, I know say Baba Oshiom, sorry, make I no call her the name wey they call her Oshiomole. In those days, na him be the labor union leader. The guy na so he go lock, na so they go lock and they go do anyway. Oríṣiríṣi ṣá dey happen. But either way, which way, the koko of the matter be say, wetin we dey see be say e be like say the system is not abio, the system is not doing something, and questions are now being raised because the emergence of what did they call it? The emergence of private university. Yes, it was celebrated. It gives competition. Okay, the emergence of private education gives competition to the mainstream education system and education providers, but they are all meant to operate in the same curriculum. But you know, say for Nigeria, na different ball game. I know of people who have schools in Nigeria, and when they talk about curriculum, it be like say for well, not it be like say because on the curriculum, what they tell. No, I'm not. I'm not TikTok alone. That their wahala too much. I no get patience. The thing today, it be like a street market. So what we are finding out from the what's it called? What we are finding out is it seems what do they call them now? It seems the Ministry of Education doesn't seem to have a grip on the private emergence of private education in Nigeria. Okay. Anyway, forward and backward, either way, which way. What we are now picking up now is people are now becoming casualties of the lack of structure in the education system in Nigeria. People are becoming victims, and I don't know how long. We don't know how many victims we will have before the government will decide. You know what thing? All the education budgets and education regulation board, where they all of them dey. Okay. Ehen. What are they doing? Who is regulating who? What are they regulating? How are they regulating what they are regulating? Because I will put it in the context of UK. In United Kingdom, you no fit just sack anybody just like that. When you know be say you're something they worry you. You sef, if you try am, they go carry you go employment tribunal if that person thinks say him get case. Of course, that someone takes you to employment tribunal does not mean that the person will win the case. That's the truth. But at least there are regulatory bodies that you can report to. There are bodies you can speak to your union, your trade union, which is like in the UK we have Unison, we have Unite, we have what do they call them now? Medical council, you have social work council, you have all this NMC and bugwe like that, teachers union and stuff. So we have all of that in place. But the code here, wetin we can't get now, wetin dey grand right now for Nigeria, e be like say the owner of the employer, the owner of a company can just wake up one morning. If you wake up on the bad side of his bed or on the wrong side of his bed, like they say here, if you just wake up, say, oh yeah, make everybody pack their bag, make they go. And whether that is true, whether that is lie, we don't know. But say for church is not regulated. Okay, unlike charity commission here. Even for here, just fit sack anybody. Like I said, you can't just sack anybody anyhow, even in the UK. Even if the person na volunteer, you must have a good reason why you are sacking. And of course, for the employees too, I keep one like I was asking yesterday, and I've asked on several occasions in some of my shows. Is it that when people get employed, do they not read their employment? Do they not read their employment contract? What is in that employment contract before you begin the sign? What is in that employment contract that you're carrying yourself to go and sign? Is it that people are so excited that they get a job and they forget to do their own due diligence? Now, if you ask me, what is the due diligence? Due diligence is when you're offered, yeah, you go for an interview, you are offered the job. The fact that they offer you a job, there's no law that says you must accept it. Just like your employer will offer you a job on a conditional basis, you also can also accept the job on a conditional basis. What are the conditions? When you are given, when you have accepted the job, your employment contracts, it is important that you read it. Of course, most employers, if not all employers would advise that you read your employment contract. And if you decide not to read it, that is your cup of tea. Because the fact that if you sign your employment contract without reading it, unfortunately, now your wahala be that. Now you get headache, because the fact that you are signing it, it means you are saying you have agreed to it. So, like I always tell people, you know me, when I sit down, when I do interview for people, I always tell, when they say, oh, we have accepted, I say, okay, fine, you have accepted, there's no wahala. From the angle of employers, we would say, we offer you the job subject to satisfactory checks. Okay? So the checks have to be very satisfactory. In the UK, I don't know of the Nigerian system. I've not been in Nigerian system for almost over 2.5 decades now. So in the UK system, they will check depending on the role you're applying for. Like my kind of job, it's not just disclosure is not just enough in my line of job. There's other set of checks that they do apart from disclosure. Away from your certificate and all whatnot, there are other detailed police check and all whatnot that they do on you. So so it's not just a case of disclosure. Disclosure is like a mini angle of the check that they do. Like my line of job, I am subject to every quarter. I'm subjected to vetting, which means if I hang around with any criminal or I commit any offense, I can lose my job. It's as simple as that. Okay, so that is that sitting looking at. Anyway, so but in Nigeria, I'm not entirely sure, and this is not just unique to Nigeria. Let me say it in a general way first before I narrow down to Nigeria. This is not what I'm saying is not just unique to Nigeria. I have seen people sign accept a job without necessarily reading through their employment contract, and then when they now have problems at work, of course, the first thing, when I get to meet them, or when if I'm private to, being asked for advice, the first thing I always ask is, what did your employment contract say? And more often time you hear, me, I don't know. What did they? And I'm like, what do you mean you don't know? So you accepted the job without understanding what the without understanding your employer's duty to you. And you hear, I don't know. Me, I was desperate for a job. I said, So you don't know whether you even signed that you will be in Okweru for the rest of your life. You just carry now. So you carry, now we use a e-signature. Now so you carry e-signature, sign e-signature. And you hear, I just signed it. I say, fear yourself, no cash you. What is your entitlement based on holidays? How many annual leave? Like that's what we call it. How many annual leave can you get? How many holidays can you get? What is the employer's commitment to your well-being and welfare? What's your employer's commitment to your self-care and your training? What's your employer's commitment? Those are there are a lot of questions. You don't just accept a job just like that. Okay, they've offered you this salary. Okay, fine. That is a starting salary. At what stage do they have to review your wage? What is their policy around appraisers, right? What's their policy around appraisers? What's their policy around kinonkurukwe, around career development? What is career progression like in that company? There are a lot of questions to ask. Whether you are in civil, wherever you are being employed, your employer, just like your employer expects you to do specific things for the growth and the development of the organization you work for. There's also an expectation from your employers, in promoting, in ensuring that you are able to, for you as an employee, what are you entitled to? What's bereavement leave like? What's your entitlement to sick leave? What's your entitlement to maternity leave? What's your entitlement to paternity leave? All those little gritty. What about if sickness? If you have a long-term sickness, what is your employer's commitment to that? There are a lot of questions. It's not just as simple as I have a job. So there are a lot of questions you need to ask. What is the disciplinary procedures? What is the complaint procedures? You need to know all of these. You don't just, like I always tell people, don't accept anything blindly. Like they always say, this about Oyibo should away with the bone. They go say, have you read the tiny print? Oyibo go tell you, say, make you read tiny print. It's a tiny print for a reason. So if you now decide not to read the tiny print, when you hear Ogbasaram, now Ogbasaram level, now you did. Anything you are doing, let this be a lesson. Any contract you are signing, if it's as simple as care job, as simple as cleaning, even if volunteering, what is the expectation of that company you are volunteering for? What are their expectation of you, and what is your own expectation of them? Because it's not just as simple as I went to go. Don't just be excited that you got a job. Don't be excited that you got a volunteer role. Know what you're signing yourself into. Make you no go sign wetin go carry, wetin go give, wetin go send you go where you don't know. Because a lot of people do it. So anyway, this professor now make me do this show. This professor na professor for, he used to be a professor. He's late now, according to what I saw online on the street of social media. Now social media now we dey talk on the street of social media. This professor, I saw somebody wrote about him. He seemed, the person is his colleague from the way he wrote. The person say, he say, oh my gbenutan o, say wetin happen be say, wetin dey call am, wetin happen be say, this professor, the man sodasi the other side, and the guy then went ahead. In short, hold on, let me show you what the guy said, because na wetin the guy talk na him come make me say eléyìí ṣẹlẹ̀ ní school father mi, ní school former father mi in the Lord. Make I read am out. For the school of my former father in the Lord. When you hear my former father in the Lord, the professor, the man kpai, I dey come now on top brother Rotimi Daniel. Credit to brother Rotimi, to my beloved brother Rotimi Daniel. Now for him page, now for see the thing, I say for my brother to share this kind thing, me sef make I look am. So lọ́rọ̀ kan ṣá, the guy, the person that wrote, so this man's name, the professor that passed away apparently, is Joseph Olugbuyiro, I think. Hope I'm pronouncing it the right way. They say professor, the professor, the man by. So then there's his colleague, Samuel Tuesday Owueye. Yes, that was yesterday, so it's one day ago. The person wrote about him, And the person said, he said, my brother and colleague, you couldn't survive the shock. Covenant terminated our appointment. So he meant Covenant University terminated our appointment with immediate effect in September 2024 and gave us 3 weeks to vacate our residence. Failure, failure which we would, okay, failure to do so. You know, when you are writing in a rush, it's possible you make some mistakes, okay? So failure to do so, uh, it seems the failure to do so had implication. Covenant, sorry, I'm trying to make what he read properly. Okay, so Covenant terminated our appointment with immediate effect in September 2024 and gave us 3 weeks to vacate our residence. Failure to do so, would which we would be forcefully ejected, not because we violated any regulation, but there was need to bring down the wage bill, and few had to go. So basically, that's like voluntary. That's like, well, it's meant to be voluntary redundancy in the UK context, but of course, they seem to have forced them into redundancy. The shock came when, months after months, Covenant was wickedly refused. When Covenant has wickedly refused to pay us our terminal benefits. As I make this post, they are still devising how to cut, and cut from the entitlement we worked for. It is now over 8 months, and the organization we spent almost half of our lifetime to serve doesn't care if we go and die. Of course, we have gone. Of course, you have gone, meaning the man don't buy. Of course, you have gone, and you have now buy untimely. The word of God, okay, they say the word of God captures it properly in Jeremiah 17:19. Nínú gbogbo nǹkan tó wà nílẹ̀ ẹ̀yìn quote the word of God. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Nínú gbogbo nǹkan tó wà nílẹ̀. My brother and colleague, we spoke last on May 4, 2025 for 7 minutes and 41 seconds, and we both share our individual experiences in the face of the present economy in Nigeria. We don't know that death was already knocking. We don't know that death was already knocking. Rest in the bosom of our Lord, Professor Joseph Olugbuyiro. May the Holy Spirit comfort and help everyone you left behind. I am sure Covenant will now call your next of kin and pay him or her what they like and not what you are entitled to receive. God will judge the wicked. Ṣẹ́rí irú statement báyìí ó máa ń dánú bí mi. God will judge the wicked yẹn ó máa ń dánú bí mi. Ṣẹ́rí statement God will judge the wicked yẹn ó máa ń dánú bí mi. When I say ó máa ń dánú bí mi, ó máa ń dánú bí mi. Because number one, I am not entirely sure why God wants to judge the wicked. Okay. Yes, God will judge the wicked yẹn nǹkan tó máa ń dánú bí mi nínú gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ ni. Because like I said, my question, yes, I get where the man is coming from. Me, I'm not going to engage this from an angle of emotions. Let's talk about it from a professional angle first, like let's be realistic, because that's what the page is all about. It's us being honest with ourselves. Like I was saying earlier, my question still remains. When these people were employed, what did their employment contract say? Okay, now did they read their employment contract? Because yes, Covenant University might wake up one morning and sack you, but let's also ask, it has to be on both sides of the conversation. We all know, say, my former father in the Lord, the man head the gbá. Tẹ́ bá ń gbọ́yàn torí ẹ̀ ń gbá, orí bàbá yẹn ń gbá. And it's because Nigeria is what it is. Because wọn bí aláya bàbá ẹ̀ dá. For pastors wey employ for UK here, they no born am well to just retire in, to just your shock absorber for anybody nyash anyhow. Okay? Because there's laws that guide employment in the Western country where they set up their churches. We know there is no, don't let me say there's no law in Nigeria, because that's not true. There are laws in Nigeria. But the question is, the people that went and got a job in all these schools. Now, I'm not just limiting it to Covenant University, because it's always good to learn. How did they talk am for my language? They say the breeze wey comot person cap for him head, e reach make everybody begin dey learn lesson for am. So if you are working in any company you are working in Nigeria, you better come close now. Let us have honest conversation with ourselves. Of course, we are going to apportion the blame. We are going to talk about Baba Oyedepo, because Orima yẹn gbalẹ̀. Okay? But before we go to Baba Oyedepo, let's discuss the employees of Oyedepo. Now, if there's anything that I know about Winners, going by 14 years that I attended Winners, and I started attending Winners long before the days of social media, before the days of Shiloh even came to be, and before Covenant University even came to be in the picture. Okay? Now, it's a common knowledge that Winners Chapel operates, everything about Winners Chapel is tied to the mandate of Winners Chapel. So the question now is, what part of the mandate addresses the Covenant University or the universities or their secondary school and nursery school and primary school, whatever they created, or their employment? Because all of this thing comes back to the mandates. You even see the man, even despite the fact that he's paying tribute to his colleague and friend, as he calls him, okay, he's still quoting Bible. And my question is, when they were offering you job, how does Bible and your employment, how are they related? Even the Bible itself, it says, give to Caesar what is Caesar. And a lot of times, one thing I've noticed with our people, particularly those who are so engrossed in religion, we put religion first. Religion and emotion, we put it first before we talk about common sense. And I think it's high time we start applying common sense over religion. No, but personally, me, I don't tell people don't go to church. I don't tell people don't go to mosque. That is the least of my worries. You are an adult. My page is set up for 18 years and above. So everybody I'm talking to on my page, they are adults. It is your responsibility. Remy, you are just looking for trouble, Abi. It is your responsibility as an adult to do your due diligence. Because let us be honest, we can be fairfooing about all these babas, about all these baba to won't ballet. Winners do this, Redeemer College do this, Babcock do this, Kenny-Con do this, that one do that. But you, that you are employed by them, what did you do your due diligence? You will carry your leg, they go their church. Did you suspend your brain in the house? Now, you remember yesterday we talk about that, what's the name of that woman? Jumoke George. We they talk about the woman. Me, I'm not ready to talk about the shenanigan that they said that is happening around it. Me, I've said what I need to say. Any other thing, I don't have time for it. I've made my point and I've walked away from it. But the cocoa of the matter be say, you see, say that woman, she come, she's staying in the church. From staying in the church, now so she carry herself. She said she dey find her pikin. It's common sense. The moment you suspend your brain and go and sit down under these people, their case, I can't even say it's a case of the devil, because nobody ever see devil before. Let us leave that one for one corner. The moment she says she's looking for a church, maybe you hear when she says she define her pikin, say that they give am igbele they give am wetin be the name of that thing wey they say wey she say they dey give am? They give am ishe abi? I no know. I no go white garment church. All those their slang I no know am. But the koko of the matter be say they sha dey tell am whether e be like say na prophecy. I don't know. I'm just assuming from the way she was saying. So they dey give am prophecy. Na money abi? When they go say go bath for inside the go bath for Babish, because I know say that time wey we small, when we go Babish you go see all these people with white garment church people. They go dey Babish dey bath. When we go Eleko beach that time, you go see them for Eleko beach dey bath. I don't know whether na part of their church whatever, but if you wan go Eleko, at least you go na motor you go enter go there. Abi na okada na money. E mean say basically you go spend money reach wherever they say you go go. And even for winners, me sef wey be say they no tell us make we go back, make we go shit for winners. Covenant partner, the money wey we pay. When I say one day before I throw, I don't know. Maybe when I'm moving, I'll probably see it. I was checking. I think I came across one of my tithe booklet. When I use calculator calculate the amount of tithe wey I don pay for winners for 14 years, ori mi straight iwani. If you see as I begin the one baba Oyedepo lipe. If I use that money to shop life, if I use that money to do shop life gang, mo ma mo bi to ma kù lára mi. But of course, I decided to carry my head. Na me by myself. I no fit blame Oyedepo. Na me by myself. Na he suspend my brain. So anything wey I see for there, kima, na me. Anything wey I see for there, I go. What do they call am? I go mend am the way I see am. Because I get na dey sit down. Wey me I carry myself say I wan go the kinon koruko won. I carry myself. I say no, don't worry. I wan dey go their church because get no church won. Tí mo gbéra mi débẹ̀. So and if I don carry myself reach there, na my problem be that. Anything wey my eye see for there, ẹnu kì í ṣàrà máa jókòó mi gẹ́ kí n máa mu gàrí sí whatever wey my eye see na im remain. So as I was saying, na so I carry myself my two left leg. Na so I carry my two left leg go the place. Now I carry myself. Now I say as things be so. As things be so. Make I go dey give tithe and offering because ori mi kun. Now my head na kun and na me decide to say I wan cut am. I wan give winners. I wan give winners make they help me cut am. Na so the thing be. So lọ́rọ̀ kan ṣá, whatever my loss wey I count for winners, na me carry myself, na me suspend my brain go there. Na so the case be. Now, these people, when you go and meet them, whether you are working for them, like I said, I remember that I think Auntie Aduni did stuff when we talked about the mandate on Auntie Aduni's show. You know, the truth about it is, I remember when I attended Wolfby. No matter how I don't know how they do Wolfby now, but at that time where I go Wolfby, in short, Wolfby is literally what they are doing for you in Wolfby. Everything they do around, every teaching that they teach you in Wolfby is around the mandates. And when you graduate from Wolfby that time, you go hold the mandate, you go swear allegiance to that mandate. Okay? So, I no fit come now, can't say I don't know what I swear to. I no fit come now. Make I can't say, I don't know what happen. But the way things come be now, you carry yourself, you go work for any employer, like I was saying earlier. If you go and work for any employer, you have that duty. It is your duty. It's an individual duty to make sure that you read your employment contracts. Read and understand it. There's no law that says you have to sign it straight away. Read it, scrutinize it. If there's anywhere that you need, do not sign it until that employment contract, until you understand and you have gotten a total clarity of what you are putting your signature to and what you are accepting to get into. Okay? So, if you refuse to read, that one is your problem. Because this brother now, He say, wetin be the name? Wetin be the story wey the brother dey talk? The brother say, I dey come. Let me go back to let me go back to that Rotimi, to my brother Rotimi page. Make I go see where I read am from. So it says, my brother, okay, Covenant University terminated our appointment with immediate effect in September 2024 and gave us 3 weeks to vacate our residence, failure which will be forcefully rejected. So my question is, when you were being employed in your employment contract, in their employment contract, what did Covenant University, what is Covenant University's policy around retention and redundancy? Because basically that's what they've done. They've literally forced them into redundancy. That's what they've done. That is the long and short of the story of what they've done. Okay, so what is Covenant University's, and this is not just Covenant University. Like I said, if you are working in Nigeria, let us first look at the context of Nigeria first before we go to the context of those who live abroad. If you are working in Nigeria, my question is, what is your employment, what is your employer's what's the name? Employer's contract. What does your employer's contract, your employer's contract says about redundancy? Is there anything like voluntary redundancy? What did it say? Is there anything like what's it called? Is there anything like so sad, I be so sad. My sister, ani mo wo báyìí mo ní wàhálà máa wà báyìí wò lóhùn. So my question is, what is your employer's what's your employer's commitment to voluntary redundancy? Because it's not just okay. Yes, we can bash employer, we can do this, but you before you sign up, and it is important, please help me share this show so that people can learn from it, because it's important that people learn. Now, okay, the university suddenly wake up one morning, they sacked you guys. They made you guys redundant. Basically, it's not even sack, because that's redundancy there. They made you redundant and gave you 3 weeks to vacate your residency. So if you are working in Covenant University or anywhere you are working, go back and read your employment contract. Even if you are in the UK, whatever country you are in, your employment contract is not a fancy paper, because whatever your employer wants to do, it is within the context of your employment contracts. So it is important. If there's anything that you need to familiarize yourself with, is your employment contracts. Because you see that word, I know no does not work. It is important that you familiarize yourself with your employment contracts. So my question is, knowing Oyedepo for who Oyedepo is, and like I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you, if you are in Covenant University or you are working for any arm of Winners Chapel, you see that that mandate, it is important to familiarize yourself with that mandate, because that mandate has, just like he has stipulation for pastors, he has stipulation for day-to-day working of staffs that they employ. And you dey hear this Baba Olori Gbeske, when he won't talk, he go say, the mandate, my church has a mandate. So that means, you see, say, even in number 2, if Oyedepo can pull the plug, he can pull carpets from under the feet of Abioye. So, excuse me, who are you that he cannot do that to? And that is Abioye, that him and Abioye started together. There are videos of him where he says, if Abioye leaves him, that means things will not shake nikan. He comot Abioye tí ò sí nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀. That one pass. So they told you guys to leave. So that means you guys were living in Covenant University's property for a long period. They say you should vacate it. what are the again, all of this comes back. It comes back to what I was saying about the need to read your employment contracts. Okay, now let's look at it. It says, not because we violated any regulation, but there was need to bring down the wage bill and few had to go. Okay, so they wanted to maximize with their expense, their overhead expense, which usually wages is part of overhead expense. Okay, so they needed to bring down, they needed to maximize on wage bill. Now, this is not something that is unusual, and it's not something that is unique to Nigeria. So me, I'm not going to sit down and be bashing and be saying Kinekon. As it is in Nigeria, it dey happen for abroad. Okay? Like in the UK now, for instance, the national insurance, employers have to now start contributing higher national insurance. And of course, even civil service, where they say job they secure before for civil service jobs are no more secured. Because employer, don't forget, your employer is a capitalist. Irrespective whether na civil service, whether na private, whether na a person individual owned company. The reality of the matter be say every employer want to maximize profits. Okay? So the question now is, on their employment their employment contract, what did they say about when their concerns and the need to maximize profits? What? Because all of these things would have been written in the employment. Oyedepo is not stupid. That's one thing. I know I'm not a fan of Oyedepo, but I can tell you one thing for sure. The guy is a correct guy when it comes to, especially before, he know to understand accounts. He know to understand the nitty-gritty. Until when pastors, bishop and pastors, when they show and shake a fire, when they started making away with money, you don't want to know the amount of money where people make away with. Of course, they have to make away with it. Any yara lo gungbe, now be the case where they grand at that time. And when he became smart, he became very greedy. Okay? Okay. Then he says that wasn't even bad. That wasn't even bad, as every employer has a right to hire and fire. Excuse me. Brother Sunday, Tuesday, way. It is bad. Because an employer cannot just wake up on money and just hire and fire. This is where the problem is. Because if you read your employment contract, you will know that employer cannot just hire and fire as they wish. Just like you, the employee, you cannot just wake up on Monday and just say, you just leave work and not come back. If you want to resign, there is a procedure to resignation. If you want to apply for a sabbatical, there's a procedure. Whatever kind of leave you are going for, there's a procedure around it. Whatever exit you want to use to exit your job, there are procedures around it. And it's important that you go by the procedures. Exactly. Oyibo is smart and intelligent. Exactly. But it's not even a case of Oyibo. It's a case of, you see, our people, even here in the UK, I have seen people being vulnerable to that. Even whites too do it. So it's not just unique to blacks. I have seen people where they agree to employment, they sign the employment contract without checking. Because your employment contract is your right. It's where you understand your right and responsibility. It's just like when we talk about your professions. If you're a nurse, it's not just about nurse alabere. Yes, your employer, NHS, might say this is what you have to do. NHS might give you what to do, or NHS or care home, wherever it is, whatever setting you are working. Your employer will have their right and responsibility expected of you. But again, in the UK, if you're a nurse, you are also bound by NMC, which is medical council. What is the medical council? What your employer is saying, does it match what the medical council? Does it match the expectation and the work professional ethics and conduct of of your nursing council? It's as simple as that. Same goes with police, same goes with social work, same goes with the military. And that's why you see people can take employers to court And when you start challenging employers, whether on redundancy or whatever it is, sick, whatever it is that you're challenging your employers, you must understand your first point of argument starts from your employers, like start from your employment contract. Okay, that's your first point of argument. It starts from your employment your employment contract, and then you can then look at your professional contract, your professional code of conduct, and that's where you begin to see where there's loophole, where whether you have a case or you don't have a case. That's where you see it. Even if you are going to go and meet, even if you want to go and you want to take your employer to the tribunal, they still come back to look at your employment contract. They go and look at your employment contract. They look at your professional code of conduct and practice. So it's not just as simple. And this is so to me. But that's Samuel Tuesday away. I bet no verse you. To me, this thing that you wrote, that you say employer have the right to hire and fire. Excuse me. Yes, employer has a right to hire. Yes, because it's down to the employer to decide who works and what doesn't work for him. But even at that, employer can actually, if employer does not hire you and you know that you meet the criteria and you have not been hired based on nepotism, you have a right to challenge it. It's not just as simple as employer. You see, some statements here got me cringing. Okay, and that one passed. Then he says the shock came when month after month, Covenant has wickedly refused to pay us our so basically our redundancy benefit. That's what he's meaning to say. So again, in your employment contract, what did they say? What did the employment contract say about Kenon Porukwe? In short, why am I even going far away? Let's look at Covenant University. I'm coming now. Covenant University, I wonder. Olórí gbèsè wọn dà báyìí. Mo wá di wọn dáadáa báyìí. Olórí gbèsè ni wọn. It's very, very important that you know what you're doing. Let's look for the work for us. Sherry one. Let's see more information. Okay, they don't have. Sorry, just give me 1 minute. Oh, I want to see overview, vice chancellor, principal management, Kinecon. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to see if I will see the work for us. I know I've checked it earlier, but I think I was probably in a hurry trying to check it. Okay, operations. Ṣé ẹ rí wọn? Àwọn clever by half. Àwọn clever by half. Una sef wey go work for this kind place. You see they don't have, in some schools, they have what you call work for us. They don't get work for us. Anyway, I hear say na make I not talk with you. Make I not talk. That one not the public domain. We will leave am. So I can't don't worry. I would speak to a couple of people. I know where to get their employment contract from. No worry. When I get the employment contract, if I get them, say I be a proco. When I get them, I could bring them come. No worry. Now here we go see the whole thing together. I go find them. So I get people for inside we go give me. When I don't worry. When I don't see them, we'll come back and analyze them. So basically, they collect on money. They terminated you. They forced you guys into redundancy, and they refused to pay you guys. They refused to pay you guys your benefits. Okay, and it says, as I make this post, they are still devising how to cut. So basically, how to continually reduce their entitlement that they worked for. It is now 8 months, and the organization will spend almost half of our lifetime to serve doesn't care if we go and buy. So lọ́rọ̀ kan ṣá, as they behave in wetin be the name, as they behave for church, for people that come and worship in their church, is the same way they behave to people that work for them. So lọ́rọ̀ kan ṣá, ẹrú ni gbogbo yín lọ ṣe lọ́dọ̀ wọn. That is the long and short of it. Wait, before I go forward, because today I no just fit dey talk make my mouth just dey pain me. Wait o, abeg, I get question, make una no vex yo. Out of 26 people wey dey view me, na only 3 share we get. Abeg, make una no vex, make una no mind my share wey I share una. Abeg, make una help me share. Make I wait for 2 minutes, make una help me share. Abeg, make una no vex. We will continue after 2 minutes. You know say e no easy. As una dey help me dey share, e go dey ginger my swagger. I no open church now tell people make they give me money. I no dey collect money from anybody hand. I no open church to make people dey give. We are sharing information. And if I'm being honest with you, there are people that call me, a lot of people call me and say, look, they come across my video, whether on YouTube, whether on Facebook, they come across my videos. There's a lot of lesson that they've learned. People come, they call me for advice and stuff like that. By sharing the video, it also encourages me. Let me be honest with you, because it means it's reaching more people and it's encouraging. It's quite encouraging for me as well. So make una no vex. Say, easy. Easy oh. So abeg, make una help me share. I did dey wait. Make una help me share. And to the people wey share, thank you a lot. But make una continue to dey help me dey share. Make una no think of my bad behavior. Because go easy. Say for person to dey talk non-stop. By sharing the video. Don't mind me. My mouth. Anyway, let's continue because I've got stuff to do. So basically, they've not paid them. And the guy was also saying, he said, they're also looking to cut the entitlement. Again, all of these things, it boils down to waiting. It continues to boil down to, what did they call them? It boils down to the employment contract. What did the employment contract say? What is the employment contract? What did it say? Abi, did you guys just go and work for these people without having an understanding of your employment contract? Because that's what it seems here. Okay, that one pass. Now, he says, the man called the quote Bible. Now that Bible wey he quote, now that one gonna converse me inside. Now that one. And he says it is now over 8 months, and the organization we spent almost half of our lifetime to sell doesn't care if we go and buy. And of course, he now talked about that Joseph. What is the name now? Olubuyiro. Sorry, I dey try. Say, easy. He say now the man don't go. The man died on the 4th of just this month. On the 4th of that's like 11 days ago. Now the man died. And the guy is attributing his untimely buying to perhaps the concerns and the shock and the impact of his untimely sudden job termination. Okay. Now he now said something. He alleged Covenant University said now that Covenant University, when they will now call the next of kin, and they will now pay the next of kin, the kobo and the shishi where they won't pay. Okay now we don't talk the part of the employees and all of una, every one of you, whether you work, whatever you work for in Nigeria, I think it's important that you start getting yourself conversant with your employment contract. I don't talk that one over and over again, so there's no point going back and forward. Now you see, say one person, he don't, so that's all the kg because of that, according to what they are saying. And but now the Bible where the guy can't quote, that one I convex me, because Me, I no understand all this. The heart of a man is desperately wicked. Who can phantom it? How that one take consign your employment? Then, in short, the one wey come vex me pass, the one wey vex me pass, the one wey vex me pass. Now, when e come end down with God will judge the wicked. Na lie. God no dey judge anybody. Ogi, God no dey judge anybody. Now, those of una wey dey alive, wey dey caught up with all of this now, if una get sense, but that way here, if my video can reach you, you better carry you see that Covenant University employment contract wey dey give una, go find your own, sit down, read am like your life depends on it. If you get highlighter, I don't know wetin they call highlighter, I don't know how I go take describe am. Highlighter, if you get highlighter, read am, highlight am one by one, line by line, highlight, understand your legal right and responsibility, so that when you wan come go meet, whether na lawyer you go meet you, well, I don't know how una dey do am for Nigeria, but at least you can challenge them based on you understanding your right and responsibility, and the right and responsibility of Covenant University. Leave God. See, no dey disturb God. Let God dey where he dey. Okay? You can when you dey go your work, God no follow you go the work. Okay? This one now, don that's only kg. So as this one don that's only kg now, this Olubuyiro, he don that's only kg. May his soul rest. Okay? But una wey dey alive, where all of una dey caught up in all of this now, this is a time for all of you to pull yourselves together and then start asking relevant questions. Otherwise, what we'll keep saying is a continuous misbehavior of these guys. Okay? When I say continuous misbehavior, I mean continuous misbehavior. Because you see, evil thrives when everyone shuts their mouth. That's why evil thrives. That is when everybody shuts their mouth. Now you see this brother, this late Professor Olubuyiro. Now on his LinkedIn, the man don't work. Make I read at the come. Make I read at the come. Make I find the Nisha Shedanu. Tebangba Nisha Shedanu. Nisha Shedanu ni. At the come, make I read the LinkedIn profile for you. Láwọn aláyé bàjẹ́ dédé. Àwọn aláyé bàjẹ́. Wey they no care. You see all these guys, all these your pastors, orí wọn ti gbálẹ̀. When you hear orí wọn ti gbálẹ̀, orí gbogbo wọn ti gbálẹ̀ finally. Now, this Professor Joseph Olugboyiro, PhD at Covenant University, he was the first professor of natural product of chemistry in Covenant University. Specialization, okay, in American, this thing, they usually write for Nigeria. Specializations: phytochemistry, drug discovery and development, and pharmacology. Okay? Now, experienced professor with a demonstrated history of teaching and research. He balances academic with industry as a professional formulation chemist. Wow, that's good. That's really, really good. Impressive. His experience, make I read the experience given her. That's his work experience. Wow, the way they do LinkedIn for Nigeria, this is all over the place. Make I come out my UKI from. Let me read it the way it is. Okay, Covenant University Ota, 9 years. He has spent 9 years and 8 months. 19 years and 8 months. The other question 20 years back. 20 years. How old will be the man? How you come? Make I find out. Let me see his age. I'm not as well how they come. Let's see whether we will see the man age. Come on, we'll see whether I will see age. Now even my now my Ekiti, now for Ekiti, the man for come. Now my state, mo go protest. We no go agree, we no go agree. And you're Ekiti da. Oh yeah, let's go and protest. Let's go and protest, yo. Now even winners sharp with they go. ṣe rí ọ̀rọ̀ yín ó dà pé ọ̀rọ̀ yín ó dà pé na Awóráwo na be una case. E be like say una case of Awóráwo. Okay, the man no put in date of birth for there. Una case na Awóráwo. Anyway, make I leave that one. Una case, e be like say una case na the case of Awóráwo. Even the brother sef wey write sef, e dey obvious say na Awóráwo, because now una don carry una head. Adekomu. Okay, 19 years and 8 months now he spent for Covenant University. So he started working with them in 2005, teaching and research. Professor 2017. So he's been a professor for 7 years and 6 months. Then head of department 2020 to 2023. Okay. Anyway, he did his education at University of Ibadan, 1990 to 2012. Okay. Wow. See, you see, as Covenant University waste this man, according to what they are saying. Okay. Na my Anyara Ekiti da, may we go protest you. Now our brother be this, may we go protest. Let us go and protest. Make we go protest against injustice. Justice for it's even hold on, let me see whether it's the right person. $70,000. Sure, I don't think it's the one. No. It's not telling us his age. Anyway, but the cocoa of the matter be say, the man don't spend 20 years. Loro Konsha, 20 years in service. He spent 19 years. 19 years and 8 months. Ni ṣàṣe dànù. Tẹ́ bá ń gbà ní ṣàṣe dànù. Ni ṣàṣe dànù. Ni ṣe àṣedànù. Na it be the case wey dey grand so. Because àṣedànù non pele. So person don work for almost 20 years for one place. Na wá jí láàárọ̀ ọjọ́ kan. Na im dey wọ́n gbọ́n dànù túrútúrú. Wọ́n gbọ́n dànù túrútúrú. When nothing happen. They come dey write I dey look the man Facebook page. I dey come. Now their case na Awóráwo, because na winners, e be like say na winners the man dey go. So in case na Awóráwo, I'm sorry, I hate to say it, but na wetin I dey see. Okay, Foursquare dey, he get Foursquare for him page, but e be like say the man na churchman. Okay, Foursquare. Okay, it seems like he's a Foursquare person. I think, I don't know. There seems to be Foursquare stuff on his page. That's the Olugbuyiro, Professor Olugbuyiro that I'm looking at. Yeah. May I see him? I won't do am a boy. I dey try see how they be. Don't worry. I get person we go give me low down. I will go find low down. Come for una. I will go find low down. So he's clearly not a young man. He's clearly not a young man at all. He's clearly not a young man. I'm trying to look at stuff. He's clearly not a young man from what I can see. No worry. I go do amebo. I go find amebo. Come give una. What I'm really what I'm really interested in is I'm going to come back. Maybe I'll come back at some point, and I would have gotten. Make a note talk what I won't get. I will no worry. I will find and come. We won't come discuss them. But the cocoa of the matter be say, from the look of everything, Baba Oyedepo, he don't run all of them street. You know when they say they run person street, Baba Oyedepo don't run in staff. He don't run the streets. You see, when we they talk, when I started the show, I say Ombo, I will not there day. Now it be the case with the grand so. When we they scream, when we they shout, all this àwọn bàbá yìí ayé wọn ti bàjẹ́, àwọn bàbá yìí orí wọn ti gbálẹ̀. When we dey talk say, when you go, if you carry yourself go meet these people, If you carry yourself go meet all this àwọn wèrè, all this àwọn wèrè baba ní dementia, if you go work for them, you are just going to get yourself entangled, yourself and your family. You will get yourself and your family entangled in wahala. They go say make we bring our head, make we kamoriwa kamorunwa. Òun ló délé báyìí. They carry person wey don work for almost 20 years. They comot shock absorber for him leg. And like I always say, if Oyedepo can remove shock absorber from the leg of wetin be the name of this oh, sorry, I wasn't paying attention to the comment. What did you say? Exactly, my sister Remy, exactly. If Oyedepo can remove shock absorber from the leg of Abioye, wey be say Abioye don serve am for how many years? For odindi 43 years. If Oyedepo can remove shock absorber from Abioye that served him for 43 years, how much more you? And if you look at the Oyedepo thing, remember we talked about the pastors, when the pastors were saying they were paying them 60,000, thousand, whatever thousand they said they thousand them. Remember, we looked at the mandate then. And the mandate clearly, there is nothing that Oyedepo is doing that is not in his mandate. So, now you go come borrow yourself brain. As I'm talking to you right now, in the civil service across United Kingdom, they are negotiating the pay of civil service. They do that pay negotiation every year. But some people na favorite of government. When you hear the people wey be, I don't want to call people name, because e get somebody wey be say, if no be say the person na my sister, me and her for the quarrel, because na dem be the favorite of the government. They no send us. If we like, make we make noise from today to tomorrow. Those people, they are untouchable. Any little thing, government go dey just dey dance, go dey gbe wonjo. They go dey dance, they go dey gbe wonjo. There's no beef for the person where the beef know himself. There's no beef. Me, I know the beef, but the person where the beef, he know himself. So they go dey gbe wonjo. It is them. When they cough, penny like this, now so UK government go dey jump up and down. They will go find dummy, they go dey find the best of the best milk where they go use to make their baby food. But the rest of us, they no send our papa. If we like, make noise on today to tomorrow, now so they go dey look us as if they no send us. But those ones, those particular beloved children of the government, now them be the beloved. Say for UK, although they say partiality, they born a lie, because they are civil servant and they are civil servant. You see this particular set of people, all of us na the same civil servant, all of us be, but na them be the favorites, and government self no hide them. Say they get favorite children. I be they get favorite child. Now I go call them. Even though all of us they follow them, they beef, but we dey at their mercy, because if they call for penny like this, if you know what they do us now, say they do COVID money, they pay them COVID money. Make her talk wetin they beef me. Make her talk wetin they beef me now. Because that time when they give us COVID money, now so they far. If you see the amount of tax where they fire for inside our money, but these people they give them their money. They don't even comot tax. They just give them free of charge. Anyway, make I go on a serious note now. They pay us. They give us right now. Civil service. They debate. They debate wages of civil servants. And I tell you, see that debate where they debate now. Now union they debate them. Union they agree, they know they agree. They debate them. Now then they debate. Government don't talk say this now. They will give them. Union say na lie, say no lie. Workers deserve a better wage than this. Of course, they go talk story, they go talk. They go debate. But the cocoa of the matter be say there is a regulatory body. Okay? But for Nigeria, they don't send anybody, papa. Now, only differ from all these yeye pastors. We be say they set up business. Nobody, don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with them owning businesses. I do not have a problem. But the problem I have is, if you set up a company, surely it's in your best interest if you treat your employers right, your employees. It's in your best interest if you treat them right. Because productivity comes from a balanced employee. If you provide an enabling environment for your employees, trust me, they will even work more than what you need. I can tell you, with the kind of job I do, I can tell you for free. Yes, my job is 9 to 5, but I can tell you for free that my 9 to 5 is more than 9 to 5. My employers get a lot from me than even the normal 9 to 5. Because that is what the realities are. Everybody that say they are doing 9 to 5, ask us, make we sit down now, begin the count our hours they give you. What will they do? You go see, say, our employers, they are even gaining more from us. We actually do more than our contracted hours. Even when it comes to workload, we do more in our workload compared to what we are contracted to do. Okay? Whether you're a nurse, whatever you are. But I think it's high time for Nigerian government also, because the Nigerian government is enabling these guys. I don't know if that is what is happening in the Islamic world. I don't know, because I've never been there. I've never worshipped as a Muslim. I'm not a Muslim. Okay? But I'm talking about the Christian angle because that's what I know. And please, if there's anybody that knows that it is done differently in the Muslim, in the Islamic whatever, please let us know. Okay? But to the best of my knowledge, the government of Nigeria seems to be turning a blind eye to what is going on here. Because come to think about it, these schools, for instance, Covenant University is not a cheap school. Okay? Now, people would argue that school, when you set up a school business, you make money because you are charging very high school fees. In my own opinion, understanding how account works, my argument would be that's not true. Okay? Because yes, you might have a high school fee, but the question is, what is the quality of education that you're offering? And the quality of education, because as an employer, you also want to make profits. But let's be honest, sometimes the overhead is overspread. Okay? And owning a business in Nigeria, in my own humble opinion, I dig my heart for anybody that has a business in Nigeria, because it's not cheap running businesses in Nigeria. The overhead of running a business in Nigeria is not for the faint-hearted. Okay? However, it does not give the employers the right to treat their staffs anyhow. We have heard people call out the likes of Funke Akindele, where they have said they go and write script. I don't know how it works in their movie industry, but they say they write script, and when they write the script, and there is something to do with whether they don't pay them enough, whatever. We don't know what the story is, because in fairness, Funke never responded, so we don't really know what the true picture was. People have also called out like skit makers, saying that, these skit makers, they write script for them, there is amount of money. We have seen people call out music industry. I mean, Mohbad's case, the guy that that guy that they say he that one, if you look at it, all the story that they were talking, the longer short of the story that we were having with his former record label is to do with employment contracts. Okay? The same happened for Kiss Daniel. The same happened, in short, I think there was Kiss Daniel, there was Wizkid, all of that. So it's not just unique to these fathers of faith or whatever they call themselves. But the core of the matter is, I think it's high time the Nigerian government now comes down to the level of employers. Okay, let's regulate the employment world. What's the labor minister doing in all of this? Okay, what's the labor minister doing? How is the labor minister managing these concerns that are being raised? Because they're raising their ugly head. You had Mohbad and never lived to tell the story. Whether it is true that Mohbad, whether it is true that Malian record label, whatever they are called, whether it is true they paid him or they didn't pay him, that one we don't know. We honestly do not know, because they all seem to run in a parallel private discussion. Okay? And also, we have Saint One people, them Funke Akindele, We have a what's her name now? You know, the music industry. Like yesterday, we're talking about that Madame Jumoke, and we're saying, okay, what is the entertainment industry doing for this lady to be homeless? What are they doing around their pension scheme? What are they doing on the time that, okay, yes, these guys might have money, they might be earning money or whatever they say they are doing, but for the time that they are frail and feeble, what's the long-term plan for them? Okay, so those are questions that we keep asking. Now, with regards the churches are not different from any other employers, but the difference in the church is now you carry your leg, go work for them. So if you are going to work for a church, to avoid stories that touch me, I don't know whether this man, whether that Professor Ola Bu, make I call his name properly. Let me call his name right. Olu Olubuyiro. I don't know whether Professor Olubuyiro, whether na true say na because of all of these things, na make the man waka, because I actually wanted to title it and I was like, hold on a minute. I'm actually alleging Covenant University of something I cannot prove. Okay, that was why I had to change the title of my. I had to change the title of the show I was doing, because initially I actually wanted to write it as, and I thought, hold on, I don't have a proof. I cannot. I mean, because whether I like it or not, yes, I'm vlogging, but I mean, I'm bound by the media. In the UK, you are bound by the media ethics, and before I started vlogging at all, I done my research to know what I'm doing. So I cannot prove it. Hence the reason why I didn't put it, why I didn't say, this is what has happened. But his colleague is alleging that is what led to his death. Whether not lie, whether not true, we don't know. But like those who are alive, the staffs who are the redundant staff that are alive, make una go read una employment law, employment contract. Whether una go gather una self together, una will go meet lawyer together, make una go there. You go and meet an employment lawyer and they will advise you on your right and responsibility. Now, if you are employed, whether home or abroad, wherever you are employed, and this is what used to lead to wahala, even with those who come with COS and those that come with student visa and everything. Because, like I was saying when I talked about that immigration, when I did the case on immigration, wo, Fagbemi, you shall just be watching cinema. Yeah, I do agree with it might be a contributing factor. Okay. It might be a contributing factor, but I think, like I said, I wanted to actually title it as, and I was like, hold on, I can't prove it. Okay. So I just thought, okay, let me leave it at that. But the cocoa of the matter, whatever it is now, wetin dey grand now be say, the man don waka. Okay, there's no doubt about it. The man don waka. He don go. Na him wife and his children and anybody that is left behind. Na the next of kin. Na him go dey follow Covenant University dey speak Oyibo tomo atele tomo. Na that one they go dey follow themselves dey speak. But my own is, if you want to work for any employer, particularly all these pastors, because they have schools. Baba Macarius now, I'm sure that one employ people where they work for them. Okay, all those people, if you want to work for them, it doesn't matter the kind of job you want to do. Go and familiarize yourself with your employment contract. If you are a member of Winners, let me borrow you sense. If you're a member of Winners, if you're a worker in Winners, whether you are a church worker or you work in their university or any arm of where you are working, you see that mandate. Hey, if you love yourself, you better pick that mandate and read it to see where it becomes applicable to you. Because the mandate is the basis of every operation in Winners. It doesn't matter what part of Winners that you are working in. That is the basis of operation in Winners. No data, no peace. You see, say Abioye, when Abioye come out, yes, he wasn't happy. If anybody tells you Abioye was happy that they remove shock absorber for his leg, they're lying to you. Abioye was not happy. However, he knows say now all of now him and in papa way Abi anyway. Now him and him partner in crime. Okay? Now the two of them sit down, him and Oyedepo. Now the two of them sit down, draft mandate. So now the same mandate when in draft, now they reform, now they use take more carpet for in leg. Now you don't see, so into you don't go carry, into you don't go set up your own farm industry. Okay? You don't go set up your own Jesus industry. Very soon now, if you look, you remember saying children, they grow up with Oyedepo children. Very soon now, you go look now into, if you wake up, you know say before, he say, God no call am make it go open church. Now, God don't change, he don't change number. He don't call am to open church now. Say you don't open church, you don't begin to get 2 services. Okay? Before you go know wetin dey happen, they go begin to build school. Before you go know wetin dey happen, Nakama, before you go know wetin dey happen now, they go begin to build school. Before you go know wetin dey happen now, university go enter. Okay? Now, you know, so na gradual process. Okay? All of them, the phone number wey God they used to they call all of them, we never see until today. None of them don't share that phone number with us. But there's one common fact that we know, that God calls them as in a private level. But when they won't build church, when they won't do project for the God we call them, then they go bring the project, they go come bring that conversation, that project. Now only then God follow talk, but they will come meet their church member. May they come begin to donate. And because the church member too, adakulo ọ̀rọ̀, just like diaspora where they donate money for all this hey, I never shop, hey, I never waka, hey, I never peace. We don't say na differ from people wey be say they will come social media. And people waiting for diaspora, I bless some people for diaspora, they are designed to just be dawo. They don't want to know how far. They don't even want to check the thing. They just want to be the dawo. So anyway, now the matter where they grand be that. Whether about Oyedepo, you remember say Oyedepo, you know say the man stubborn way. He go tell you say when he open his church, nobody did it. And the man no lie. Because true, when he open his church, now only him and the person and God wey say he follow and talk. Now he did there. When you open church, name his church, name way name his church. And as you see Baba so, Baba no send anybody, Papa. If the guy don't make money, say you don't even know what to do with money. But one thing they show up, say Baba no they give him money to anybody. Oh no, differ from as rich as Winners is, as rich as Winners Chapel is. You can see how they have treated their staffs. Even their pastor, if you don't know anything, look the way they treat their pastor. They go say they send them commot. Then Baba come one day, say he release them. Instead of to say he sack them, you know, say they get Bible word where they use it, they describe their rich and rather. He say he release them. As they can't release them, so wait till come be the next thing. When we find that they say na 60,000 they pay them. When you go read the mandate, Baba talk and point and say if you won't be pastor for a church, so long as you be full-time pastor, you are not allowed to do any other business other than the business of in church. Wait till be the business of in church, when you carry Bible, begin to preach. So if you sign up to something like that, you don't feel come now, they tell us say you don't know. Okay? So in order to avoid another justice for another Covenant University staff, okay, before we begin to carry placards, they do covenant for university, covenant justice for Covenant University staff, I be justice for Landmark University staff, I be justice for you get one of the other university, I don't forget the name of that one, the third university. Before you begin to do justice for all those university and all the faith what do you mean? Faith Academy, Heritage Primary School. Before now begin they do justice for Heritage, staff of Heritage Primary School and Faith Academy. You know, say you should know, say I they go to church. I they go to church before, so I know the name of all those. Whether they don't change it now, I don't know, but those used to be the name. The nursery primary school is Heritage. The secondary school now Faith Academy. Then the university, we get Covenant, we get Landmark, we get one other one. I don't know, I can't remember the name now. But anyway, before you begin, they do, and those of una wey dey work for Dominion ministry, those of una wey dey work for the administrative arm, before una begin dey carry placard, begin dey shout justice, make una go read that mandate, because na mandate na guide all of una. When una don read the mandate finish, make una carry as una dey read the mandate, make una dey read una employment contract side by side with the mandate. Na the matter wey dey ground be that. Baba Oyedepo, will you change? That one I cannot promise you, because the man Baba yẹn ti sign himself, and if you look at Adeboye too, all of them are the same group chat, all of them dey, and they no send anybody. As far as they are concerned, they no send anybody, Papa. Okay, so know that and know peace for yourself. So instead of somebody else to come now, come the right episode of John the Baptist, you see say that brother, despite the fact say they sack them, the brother still dey quote, the heart of man is wicked, who can fathom it? When tó yẹ kó ṣe gbogbo wèrè fún wọn, person wey suppose carry them go court, wey suppose go dey court, begin dey draw each other brokers for court. When he wan come finish the long story and episode of John the Baptist wey he write, he say God will judge. God go judge wetin? You don talk and say na half of una life una use take work for Covenant University, you come dey say God will judge. Wetin concern God concern your employment contract. But that Sunday Tuesday, abi na Samuel Tuesday, Owoeye, abi na wetin be your name? No let me verse for you. No let me verse for you at all. No let me verse for you. But the koko of the matter be say, make we look how things go dey. Okay, make we look how things go dey. I go find, no worry, you know say I be aproko, I don't worry. I go find the, wetin be the name? I go find the employment letter. Employment contract. I go find am come. We go come read am. We go see. We go look am well together. I can't promise you when I will get it, but as soon as I get it, I will bring it out, and then we'll look at it together. But this is a lesson. Share this with everybody, whether you're in the diaspora, whether you're in wetin be the name, whether you did it for diaspora, because all of us most people are guilty of this. Even me, where they follow the talk. I remember my very first job. I used to work for one year company. Well, it's not a year company because I mean no do my due diligence. I used to work for a company then in I think that was like my second job in the UK, I think. I worked for that company. Now I no read my employment law. Okay, yes, I was employed. But wetin I no understand be say, what was it? What even happened, sef? No, I think my mom was ill. So I had to go to Nigeria. And so I'd taken my annual leave, but I didn't. So I now, my mom's illness took its turn, and I had to stay longer in Nigeria. And of course, at the time when that happened, at the time that my mom fell ill, at the time, I'd only just resumed work, and I was still on probation. I was still on a probation level. So yes, I had what's it called? Yes, I had access to. I was entitled to leave, but because I was still on probation, I wasn't entitled to. I could only be off work for so long. Okay, so but because of what happened, I had to be off work for a while. Like I had to be in Nigeria for a while because I needed to tidy things up before coming back to the UK. So I was in Nigeria for longer than I should. Of course, I kept my employers informed and everything, but because I was on probation, so in between, obviously, the job I signed up for. Anyway, by the time I came back, within the probation period, I got relieved of my job. And of course, me, I didn't read my employment whatever. So now I come vex. I say, how can you guys sack me? It's not like they just sack me and let me go like that. Of course, I got what I was entitled to and everything. But the cocoa of the matter be say, when I come the open mouth, they make noise. That's how I carry myself go citizen advice first and foremost. If you dey UK, you go understand. I carry myself first and foremost go citizen advice. Citizen advice. In buy. And so I table talk. Now the first question when the lady listen to me, you know, so they go sit down, they listen to you. Now they listen to me. Now the lady say, "Can I see your employment your employment contract?" Now so I come begin the look like ori eran. Now I say, what do you mean employment contract? Meanwhile, me, I sign employment contract and I don't know what it do me. That's why I delete the thing. They even send them, my employer send them to me. That's why I carry the thing, I shred them. You don't say Nigeria mentality say I don't get job, I no bother myself. And they come now say, I say my employment contract, is I don't have it with me. Now it's okay. We can't really advise you if we don't see your employment contract. Of course, I had to get back to my employer, request my employer in my employment contract. When they won't send that to me, they send me the one where they sign. So you don't go beside, I go talk, say I know the day. I don't know what it dey inside. Now so they send me copy of my employment contract. In short, as the lady, now so I carry and go back. Again, remember, I no read them. Now so I carry my two left leg, carry and go citizen advice. Now the lady come say she can't look with I can't remember the section. Anyway, she shall look at it. Now she say, it's clearly written here. Now I say, what is clearly written there? Meanwhile, me, I don't dey para. It's clearly written there. That's how I read it. And I say, it's clearly written there. Bibawo. Now so I can't read it. When I can't read it, and I say, Emi gan, my mouth to bend. I no come fit talk. Now so I just accept my fate in reality. I can't go find another job. Okay? They don't pay me wetin they won't pay me. Of course, they have to pay me and everything. Anyway, na so it be. So na so the matter we see they settle. So me sef, wetin I dey tell you, no be say I never experienced that before. Me sef, I don experience that before. And you know, so you no dey hear God will judge, or you no send you. Because for you to say you are, and anyway, before I can't leave season advice, I did. Now the lady can say, a word of advice to you, my darling. A word of advice to you, call my name. Say a word of advice. He say anytime from now henceforth, when you are employed, it is important before you accept any employment. Now the lady can school me. When they school me, since that time, when you hear antenna, the antenna for my head is straight, come is straight. The antenna for my head go straight, one is straight. Ọ̀rọ̀ pèsè gẹ àbọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ pèsè gẹ. If you see the kind vibration where I won't go vibrate from my employer, when the woman ask, na so I begin to scratch my head. I begin to scratch my head. All the vibration within my body. Now so the thing, like say, you know when you pour cold water for person body, now so your body go just come down. So your body come down. Since that time, when I won't get any, I go sit down and read the employment. I go read down word for word, wages, leave entitlement, everything. I go sit down and read one by one. I dey read them. I no dey sign anything until I read and finish. So na so it be. So so as things be, that is where we dey. So no be case of no dey do God will judge. Stop quoting God will judge and stop quoting Bible. I'm not saying don't read your Bible. That is up to you. You are an adult. But my own be say no dey quote Bible because no God will judge. No dey solve problem. The heart of man is desperately wicked. Oyedepo don't send your papa. Go and get yourself conversant. And if you know anybody wey get a job, although anybody is employed, please share this video so they can learn from it. As it is in Nigeria, na so e dey for abroad. So it is nobody is oblivious. Nobody is excluded from ignorance. Okay? It's our problem in Africa. Even here for Western country, it is our problem. Look at the new immigration plan. What did they do? Go and hear the radio content creator are saying, our God, anyway, our God, we know we can pray, and we know that with prayer, God will change the immigration, the way the things they're saying about immigration, God will change their heart. In short, I see for TikTok yesterday where some people say that they do prayer group. Then they say the heart of God, the heart of man is like a running of water, and he turned it to kinikan, and so they begin the quote. The God should change the heart of the UK system against immigration. That's why I look them and say, kò síyàn tó tán rẹ̀ tó yá bèjì. Anyway, na so life be. So as we dey display ignorance for Africa, na so we dey display am for here too. Simple things that we're supposed to engage with properly, when we're supposed to put emotions aside and talk sense to ourselves, we no go talk sense. Look at the man now. The man don't pay. When person, in friend, we won't write tribute. In friend and in colleague, we won't write tribute. Instead of that one, instead of them to gather themselves, we say they still discuss. The man self even remember to remember how many hours. To remember, say they talk for 4 minutes and kini con second. He no remember. Say they suppose all of them know for 8 months. Employer make una redundant for 8 months. Wetin all of una dey do? Wetin all of una dey do for that 8 months? Una just dey talk grammar. Òun ló délẹ̀ báyìí. Ìyẹn báyìí bàbá yẹn sọ lásòdì kejì báyìí. Na im next of kin na im go dey bear the cost. Kọ́lọ́run tún wá mú kó tún wá jẹ gbèsè. Because when I go the Baba page now for Facebook, when I go the Papa page, the professor wey kpai, when I go in page, na church person, na church post, na im dey post for there. Anyway, ibi tọ́rọ̀ dé dúró nìyẹn. Make we come dey waka dey go. I get meeting wey I wan go at ten d. Ẹ ṣé àdúpẹ́ o. Please share this video. And please let me beg. It's always in our, as the page is growing, the more we share our shows. I always take my time to try and do educative shows. Of course, I know you are not asking me to do it, or you're not. It's my choice. I'm making a conscious decision to do the show, but just to encourage me. I'm not asking you to give me money. I'm not asking you to give me anything. All I'm asking is please encourage me, share my shows, let people learn. I have people who call me. People call me daily on different occasions. They call me, oh, thank you. There were things like when I talked about the immigration, when I talked about the white paper, people called me. Good amount of calls, messengers, people send message to me, oh, thank you. We didn't understand it from this context. Now we understand it better. And, we explored, okay, this is what to do. This is how to go about it. Da, 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 da. Where are you now? What is going, we talk. And when I look at the number of views and the number of shares, it's not encouraging. So please do me a favor. I beg. Make una not think of my bad behavior. Make una help me dey share my shows. Because the more you are sharing, people get knowledge from it. Okay? I could be talking about all sorts of, we could be talking about all sorts of stuff. But people get liberation and, even on secular things. Knowledge is powerful. People fall victims when there's no knowledge. But knowledge is very, very powerful. Once you have the knowledge, nobody can push you aside. So, to all my subscribers, all my returning subscribers, all my new followers, thank you so much. Honestly, I can't do this without all of you. And to all of you who always engage me, to everyone who always engage me, what's the name? Who always engage me on my shows. I don't take you all for granted. I'm very, very appreciative of each and every one of you. Thanks a lot and have a wonderful day. I might come out later. I don't know. I will try. But if I can't, oh well and good. But if I can, I will. Okay? Thank you. Bye.